Army is fresh off their second straight 9-win season. And after winning 5 of their last 6 games, including their bowl game against Missouri, the Black Knights carry a lot of momentum into 2022, one that could see them have their 3rd straight 9-win season. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. Ready to break down, analyze, predict Army's schedule and record for this upcoming college football season. And guys, this is a season that, again, could be very special for Army. If you had told an Army fan or anybody that watched college football about 10 years ago that the Black Knights were going to be maybe the best out of the military academies between Air Force and Navy, if they were going to consistently be going bowling under Jeff Monken, everybody would have probably laughed at you. The Black Knights were horrible, but they have built themselves up, and not, I wouldn't say a power, but a consistent team, a consistent bowl team, one that people are starting to fear. You look at the numbers, guys. Yes, Army was only 83rd offensively last year, but that's because they don't throw the ball. We know that. Army runs that triple option that saw them finish 2nd in rushing last year with 280.6 rushing yards per game. But in addition to that dangerous offense, Monken has established a very strong defense at West Point, one that last year ranked 15th nationally. Army's defense is loaded once again this year, guys. Andre Carter returns after having 15.5 sacks last year. The only player that had more than him was Will Anderson at Alabama. The Black Knights were 16th nationally versus the run, 15th overall like we just mentioned, and offensively, they return a lot of their guys that are contributing to that triple option. Tyler returns at quarterback. Their fullback, Jacoby Buchanan, is back, and Tyrell Robinson is back as well. That's your main 3 right there that are going to contribute so much to this offense for Army that they're hoping we'll see them get at least 9 wins again in 2022. When we take a look at their schedule, guys, it is relatively difficult. The road to 9 wins, or even 8, to try to get a bowl win to make it 9, will be difficult. They opened the year up against Coastal Carolina, and to me, this is one of the more underrated matchups of Week 1. Not enough people are talking about this game. But ultimately, guys, I like the Chanticleers a lot in this game. Yes, they lost a lot on both sides of the ball, but they still own a very important edge, and that is the veteran quarterback of Grayson McCall. I believe he's just a little bit better than Tyler in this Army offense. I believe Coastal Carolina having a home field advantage is going to be key in this game. And under Jamie Chadwell, the Chanticleers have typically had a pretty stout defense. We expect them to be able to shut down the run in this game. Coastal Carolina wins a close one in Week 1. Again, one of the more underrated matchups of the entire week. Up next, Texas San Antonio. Last year's Coastal Carolina. A couple years ago, the Chanticleers were the Cinderella. Last year, the Roadrunners were. Winning, 11, 12 games, winning the Conference USA, but falling short to San Diego State in their bowl game. And that is the reason we are picking Army here. Because if you watched UTSA in their bowl game last year, they struggled against the Aztecs. And what do the Aztecs and Army have in common? They have a very, very strong defense. Very strong defense. And I don't think that UTSA is going to be able to pick it up against the Black Knights in West Point, at West Point. I don't see it happening. When you look at it, Sincere McCormick is gone for the Roadrunners, their star quarterback is gone. They could rely on Frank Harris, but Army secondary, much better than people think and very underrated. I believe at home, the Black Knights defend their home field. I believe the Roadrunners again struggle against what will be one of the better defenses in the country again. And Army gets their first win of the year, 1-1, and we're going to bump them to 2-1 with a win against Villanova. They get their early bye week, 1 of 3 this year, because remember, Army plays much later in the year against Navy. So 3 bye weeks. They get their first one heading into the Georgia State game, where we believe they beat the Panthers again. They beat Georgia State 43-10 last year, and I'm not seeing a 33-point swing now. The Panthers can run as well, rushed for over 200 yards per game last year, but like we just mentioned, Army was 16th versus the run. They're going to shut that down, especially at home. They can win by 33 on the road last year. They can win again at home now. So 3-1 for Army. We believe they dropped to 3-2 with the road loss to Wake Forest. Last year's game was a classic, though. Wake Forest and Army. Wake Forest won 70-56. The Black Knights put up over 500 yards of offense on the Demon Deacons. Again, the ACC runner-up last year. But now the game is in Winston-Salem. And in addition to that, Wake Forest has film on Army. It's always tough to play one of these military academies when you've never played them before and you don't have enough film of yourself against them. Now Wake Forest does. And I believe their defense, while not great, will be able to slow down that triple option. Sam Hartman will once again be able to light it up as one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Wake Forest get to win over Army, and unfortunately for you offense lovers out there, it's not going to be as high scoring. Army does win their next 2 games, though. They should take easy care of Colgate and ULM. ULM going to be the more difficult of the two. Warhawks showed improvement last year, but not nearly enough. Had one of the worst offenses in the country last year and ranked 112th defensively. Not going to be enough to shut down Army. So 2 straight wins there following the loss to Wake Forest. They head into their second bye week against one of the bigger games of the year against Air Force. Army, Air Force, Navy. How they all fare against each other determines the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. It's a big deal. And this game is going to be huge, one of the biggest ones on Army's schedule. A lot of their success is measured by how they fare against Air Force, especially how they fare against Navy. This game against Air Force is tough, guys. The Black Knights actually beat the Falcons 21-14 in overtime last year, but Air Force is loaded coming in to 2022. Hazik Daniels returns at quarterback. Brad Roberts, their star player, returns running that triple option. They have a loaded offensive line. The Falcons had the #1 rushing attack in the country. Again, running the triple option. Army had #2. Air Force also has a stout defense that ranked 9th against the run last year and 4th in the entire nation. Yes, people will say, oh, that's because they face weaker teams. Yes, it's because they play teams against the triple options. So they're not going to be as many yards. Whatever you want to say about it, Air Force is legit. Air Force is legit. And I believe they want revenge over Army. And if you're looking at it on paper, I truly believe Air Force is the better team. And Air Force is going to come into Michie Stadium and get this win. Revenge over the Black Knights in what should be a low-scoring thriller. Air Force gets the win and hands Army just their 3rd loss of the year. In a quite of a bit stunning upset, we give Army their 4th loss of the year at Troy. And this is one of those games, guys, where sometimes a hangover happens. And I think that certainly will be the case for Army here. They're a little down on themselves after losing to Air Force. They want to try to beat both the military academies. They still have a chance to beat one, but they're down on themselves. Now they have to go on the road to face a Troy team that is one of the more experienced teams in the country with 19 starters back. 19 starters back. And Troy last year only gave up 143 rushing yards per game, which is not a bad mark at all. To me, if you were an Army fan, this game reminds me a lot of the Ball State game from last year. A game that was on the road. The Army probably should have won, but just didn't really show up for. And Ball State took advantage of that and got the win. Black Knights struggled to move the ball. They struggled to put up the points. And I think they're going to do the same here against Troy, who experience-wise is the better team and owns home field advantage. So Army does fall to Troy, their 2nd straight loss. We believe they cruise past, though, UConn and UMass, arguably 2 of the worst teams in the country. So 2 fellow independents, cruise past them, get their bye week, and then, of course, play Navy in Philadelphia. One of the best rivalries in all of college football, one of the best sights in all of college football. The lone game on December 10th, the only college football that would be on that day, Army and Navy. Last year's was an upset. It was a thriller. Navy upset Army 17-13. I don't think many people saw that coming, but the beauty of rivalry games, and especially Army-Navy, is it doesn't matter how good you are, you never know what's going to happen. But I would tell you this year, what I believe will happen is that Army gets revenge over Navy. Navy simply, guys, does not have the offense to move against this Army defense. And many will say, how's that the case? They run the same offense. They both run the triple option. Navy is falling off, guys. They are falling off significantly. They've struggled these last few years, and they're going to struggle again in 2022. They don't have the experience, they don't have the veterans, they don't have the line play to go up against this Army team and to run the triple option as effectively as they have in years past. Army, obviously with revenge on their mind, wanting to salvage this season a little bit by beating one of the 2 military academies and getting revenge over their most hated rival, gets it done in Philadelphia. And with that win, guys, Army will finish 8-4, which means that if they win their bowl game, Army will finish with their 3rd straight 9-win season. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Make sure to sign up for those and become a part of our GE Nation. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you next time right here on The Gridiron Expert.